If you could see every plane on one map, silver sky and shadow roads, would you know where your soul goes and who decides the path? Let's trace it, from the Weave's faint hum to the Fugue Plane's quiet gates, across the Astral Sea to the gods' starlit halls, so you can name every step and who holds the pen. Tonight, we lay out the structure behind the Forgotten Realms, how the planes connect to Toril, how the Weave makes spellcasting possible, where gods keep their realms, and how souls move after death. We'll also learn why different books describe different maps of reality and which version applies today. We'll move step by step, each idea flowing into the next, so the full picture is clear and useful for play, writing, or pure curiosity. We begin with our feet on the ground. Toril is the world where most stories are told. The Sword Coast, Icewind Dale, the Dale Lands, deserts and seas. Toril sits inside realm space, which is its local system. Think of realm space as the neighborhood of our adventures. From there, travel stretches into wild space, and wild space opens into the Astral Sea. That sea is the quiet, silver road between worlds. It links settings across D&D, not just the realms we know. The location chain matters because gods, souls, and even ships use it to travel through existence. From the ground, step sideways, and you'll find yourself in reality's two echoes, the Feywild and the Shadowfell. The Feywild mirrors Toril with stronger color, sharper feelings, and strange time. A walk that takes an hour on our plane might take moments or days within the Feywild. Meanwhile, the Shadowfell mirrors Toril with drained light and heavy mood. People feel slower, colder, more tired. These two echoes are not far-off places. They touch the borders of forests, ruins, and old roads. They matter because portals often open where the echoes thin, and because stories shift tone when the echoes press in. If the Feywild stands near, you get bright beauty and dangerous bargains. If the Shadowfell leans close, you get fatigue, memory, and the threat of loss. From sideways, reach upward. Magic in the realms runs through the Weave, an incorporeal field that touches everything. Mortals don't hold raw magic directly. They use the Weave to shape it into spells. Mystra, goddess of magic, keeps this structure stable. When she stands, spellcasting feels normal. When she falls or weakens, the Weave tears or thins. Whole regions can turn strange. Spells misfire, die entirely, or surge beyond control. This is why changes to Mystra's balance show up in history as world events. The Weave is not just a rule in a book. It is the way the world stays stitched together. Now move beyond the sky. The Astral Sea is a vast stillness, where thought and distance blend. In that space, gods claim territories called dominions. Each dominion reflects the deity who rules it and houses that deity's faithful. These are not metaphors. If a person follows a god in life, their soul can be taken to that god's realm in the Astral Sea after judgment. That is why temples care about rites, why oaths matter, and why holy places feel like anchors. They create lines between the ground and a dominion in the sky of thought. Below the world of the gods lies the place of raw forces, the elemental chaos. Some eras describe it as many separate planes: fire, water, earth, air, and so on. Other eras treat it as one storm of all elements, mixed and clashing. Either way, the facts remain. All forms of elemental power comes from this plane. If a spell calls a wall of stone, a blast of fire, or a flood of water, the weave shapes it, but the material comes from this layer. The chaos matters to stories because artifacts, engines, and ancient workshops draw on it. It is the foundry of creation where life must rely. Before we follow a soul's path, we need to place the 9 hells on the map, because books sometimes frame their location differently, even though their nature never changes. In the classic Great Wheel, and in today's hybrid cosmology, Baator, also known as the Hells, is a lawful evil outer plane among the lower planes. You don't step into it from the ethereal, you reach it through the astral. Conduits, color pools, and astral travel deliver you to the first layer, Avernus, and from there the descent begins. There is also a darker route, the river Styx, which threads many of the lower planes, including Avernus. It is fast and treacherous. Its waters strip memory and identity, which suits devils just fine and dooms the unprepared. With the lay of the plains in view, follow the path of a soul. When a person dies on Toril, their soul appears in the Fugue Plane at the City of Judgment. Kelemvor, the current god of the dead, oversees this process. Servitors organize souls, and petitioners from various faiths come to claim their own. If a person pledged to a god, that god's agents bring the soul to its proper realm in the astral. If a person denied all gods, older sources describe the wall of the faithless, a grim fate. Some newer sources are less explicit, and many tables adjust this. What does not change is the structure. The Fugue Plane is the waiting ground. Judgment is real, and Kelemvor's court is the gate. Above even this is Ayo, the overgod. Ayo is not part of the pantheon. He enforces cosmic order and can reset the rules when deities overreach or when reality needs balance. If the gods are powerful actors, Ayo is the unseen authority who manages the stage directions. When large shifts happen, planar layouts change, divine roles shuffle, magic resets, Ayo is the one writing the rules. Now link structure to history, because the map has changed. Early Realms material often used the Great Wheel, a shared layout across D&D worlds, alignment-based outer planes, elemental inner planes, and the astral in between. Later, the Realms received its own model, called the World Tree. This model emphasized realms-specific afterlives and placed divine realms in a tree-like arrangement with roots and branches connecting planes to Faerûn's gods. Then came the Spellplague in 1385 DR. Mystra fell, the weave collapsed, and blue fire tore across the world. Pieces of Abare, Toril's long-separated twin, overlapped with Toril. Many divine realms shifted or fell. In that period, the world axis frame took hold, the astral sea above, the elemental chaos below, and the Feywild and Shadowfell at the center of travel. Finally, in the 1480s DR, the Second Sundering occurred. The tablets of fate were then rewritten. Gods returned to roles that matched the realm's long memory. The weave stabilized under a renewed Mystra. Geography and cosmology settled into the hybrid model used today, which blends older and newer ideas and clarifies travel with wild space and the astral sea. This sequence explains why books disagree. If two sources show different maps, they may both be accurate for their era. The Spellplague and the Second Sundering are the hinge points. This is the smoothest way to read the library. Date the source, then accept its model for that time. With the eras clear, return to practical travel. There are several ways to cross planes. Portals and gates are the oldest and most common. Some are permanent, some open on a cycle. Most have keys. Keys can be words, runes, songs, or rare items. Spell jamming is another method. Ships powered by magic and will can sail through wild space and then into the Astral Sea, linking worlds and dominions. Planar crossings also appear where the borders grow thin. High rituals, oaths, and the aid of powerful beings can open more controlled paths too, but those come with strict costs and rules. In the Astral Sea, focus is movement. A drifting mind becomes a drifting body, and time feels distant. In the elemental chaos, the terrain shifts fast and power runs high. Protection, anchors, and precise plans reduce risk. These guidelines are simple, but they prevent wasted scenes and failed missions. Enjoy the process and combine details from different editions to maximize exploration, roleplay, and combat throughout the planes. This gives a working structure that matches current material and still respects older lore. Then, add local exceptions when needed. A warded city might still function with a world tree-style path because of ancient oaths. A Spellplague scar might behave like a world axis anchor, with strong ties to the elemental chaos. By naming the default and then naming exceptions, the table stays on the same page and the world keeps its depth. A conditional reading allows rare appeals, quests, or divine intercession to change fates. Each policy can produce honest, consistent stories. The key is to decide and follow through so players understand the stakes. In conclusion, there are many other planes of existence, some very much like the Prime, and some so alien that they almost defy description. Like other dimensions, these other planes might overlap, surround, or penetrate the Prime material plane, or they might be connected by some mystic avenue, often requiring magic to explore. Together, all the various planes are referred to as the multiverse, and they are the focus of cosmologists as they try to map, measure, and understand the planes and their relationship to life, to death, and to each other. Thank you for joining us in our research on the planes beyond. Just remember to pack light and do your research. You never know what plane the next adventure will take you. Until next time, traveler.